Karl Pearson's coefficient of correlation, and it is denoted by the symbol R. The first method of calculating R is equal to n sigma xy minus sigma x into sigma y divided by root of n sigma x square minus sigma x the whole square into root of n sigma y square minus sigma y the whole square. So in the numerator, sigma xy means multiplying x and y, all the x is multiplied with the y variable, then the total of all xy is sigma xy. Whereas sigma x into sigma y means that total of all the x values is sigma x, that total multiplied by the total of y values. So this answer will be different from sigma xy, always remember that. Then in the denominator, sigma x n means the number of values, sigma x square is after the x values are squared, all the values are added, that number is sigma x square. Whereas sigma x the whole square is, sigma x is the total of all the x values, then squaring that value. So always remember these two values are also different, and the same with the y value also. Sigma y square means after squaring all the values, the total is sigma y square, whereas sigma y the whole square means after totaling all the y values, squaring it, and this is known as the direct method. Then under the deviation from actual mean method, R is calculated by the formula sigma xy by root of sigma x square into sigma y square, where x is equal to x minus x bar and y is equal to y minus y bar. This x and y values are different from the direct method's x and y value. In the direct method, the capital X and y values are the values given in the data, whereas the values that we take in this actual mean method is the value which we get after subtracting the actual mean from the given values. For that we use the small letter x. Then the third method is calculated by taking assumed mean, where R is equal to n sigma dx dy minus sigma dx into sigma dy, whole thing divided by root of n sigma dx square minus sigma dx the whole square into root of n sigma dy square minus sigma dy the whole square. So here also, when it is sigma dx dy, after multiplying dx by dy, all the values, then that sum total is sigma dx dy. Whereas sigma dx into sigma dy means that adding all the dx values is sigma dx and adding all the dy values is sigma dy and multiplying those two values. So that is different from sigma dx dy. And in the numerator also, sigma dx square is the sum total of all the dx squares value, whereas sigma dx means the sum total of all the dx value, then that value is squared. Same with the sigma dy square minus sigma dy the whole square also. So I hope you have understood all these three formulas. First let us see the calculation by direct method. So the first sum here, example 1, calculate Karl Pearson's coefficient of correlation from the following data and interpret its value. So where price is given in the x value, that is 10, 12, 14, 15 and 19, and the supply is taken as capital Y, 40, 41, 48, 60 and 50. So under the direct method, we take these two values in the capital letters of x and y. So computation of Pearson's correlation coefficient. So in the first column, write all the price. So that is x values 10, 12, 14, 15 and 19. Then in the second column, write the supply values 40, 41, 48, 60, 50. So xy denotes the multiplication of x and y, that is price and supply. 10 into 40 gives you 400, 12 into 41 gives you 492, 14 into 48 gives you 672, 15 into 60 gives you 900 and 19 into 50 gives you 950. Then you have to square the x value. In this method, we are using the capital X. So the data that is given, that itself we are squaring. So 10 square is 100, 12 square is 144, 14 square is 196, 15 square is 225 and 19 square is 361. So that is the fourth column. Then in the fifth column, that is y square. Again I remind you, here we use the data given. So supply So 40 square is 1600, 41 square is 1681, then 48 square is 2304, and 60 square is 3600, and 50 square is 2500. Then add all the values individually. That is, add all the values given in each column. So x value added is 70, so that is sigma x is equal to 70. Supply value, that is y values added, sigma y is equal to 239. Then xy value, sigma xy is equal to 3414. Here it is given in small letters, but you always remember to use capital alphabets for this method. Then x square values added is sigma x square is equal to 1026, and adding all the y square values it is 11,685. So now substituting in the formula. So R is equal to n of sigma xy. So n is the number of values, it is 5. So we write it as 5. Sigma xy. So sigma xy means after multiplying x and y, the sum total of all the values. That already we have done. That is 3414. So 5 into 3414 minus sigma x. So sigma x is the total of all the x values. That is 70. Then into sigma y. So total of all y values it is 239. So minus 70 into 239. Then in the numerator, root of, remember in the numerator it is root, that two separate roots, n is 5 again, sigma x square. So sum total of all the x square values 1026. 5 into 1026 minus sigma x the whole square. Sigma x is 70. Sum total of x values is 70 and whole square of that value. So sum total of x is 70 and squaring it, that is 70 square. And same is with the y values also, root of 5. N refers to 5 number of values into sigma y square. So the sum total of y square is 11685. So 5 into 11685 minus sigma y the whole square. So you must write the sum total of the y value, that is 239. So 239 it is squared. So 239 the whole square. So on calculating, 5 into 3414 is equal to 17,070 minus 70 into 239 gives you 16,730. Then by root of 5 into 1026 minus 70 square gives you 230, and 5 into 11685 minus 239 square gives you 1304, both under the root. And subtracting the numerator values it gives you 340. Then multiplying and taking the root it gives you 547.65. On dividing 340 by 547.65 it gives you 0.621 and the value is in positive. So price of the product and supply of the product is positively correlated. So in the theory part we have seen that positive correlation. So correlation is said to be positive if the values of two variables move in the same direction. So here both increases, so it is positively correlated.